Hey, my name is Ray Flores. I'm a proud and loyal member of the First and 10 Tailgate. You're listening to First and 10 with my man, the main man, Foz.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 21st episode of First and 10 with Foz. This is going to be my last episode given Sunday's game. I'm done broadcasting the Bears for the rest of the season. No, I'm just joking, everyone. Hell of a game on Sunday, everyone. Hell of a game. I know everyone out there is equally as disappointed as me and Maxwell are over here. Bears dropped the home opener 38-20. Game looked a lot worse than 38-20 if you watched every minute of it. And we just got our 11th straight season loss in a row, my friend. How you feeling right now, Maxwell, after that game? Just before we get in the detail.
Bad, really bad. That was, I think, the sum of all fears. Like to like in your mind, you're thinking like all positives, obviously going in, but what could go wrong? Like, okay, maybe the defense won't play good.
Maybe one or two things could
go
wrong.
Not every facet of the entire team. Bad. I mean, speechless. I was pretty speechless after the game. I was just angry.
Yeah, I think everyone was. I mean, especially the majority of us who were at the games. I know a lot of the people watching this right now go to the games on a regular basis or season ticket holders, come and do the tailgate thing. There's a lot invested from all of us who go and spend time and money and effort towards this team. And I feel like our hopes were brought up a lot this offseason, and our expectations were far from met on Sunday. We're going to get into detail and stuff. We're going to hold the guest off for later. I'm getting straight into the Bears stuff tonight because I'm not putting that off whatsoever. Too important now at the season's here. Mookie's going to be on the show around like 7:30, a half an hour in, but me and Max are going to get into the Bears pretty deeply into that game from Sunday. Before we do that, just to say, I mean, everything's pretty much negative. I mean, how can it not be? I just don't want anyone feeling like we're giving up on the season. The season's over. It's not that.
No.
It was just a really bad game, and we're just going to call a spade and go from that and what we need to work on moving forward, which unfortunately is pretty much everything.
Let's purge it all tonight, flush it, and we'll get back at it next week.
So we start the game, first play of the game, opening drive, penalty. I mean, what were you thinking right at that point?
I was watching my wife's brother, and I said, "Oh, that's a tradition like no other for the Bears." And they called it for the Packers at first. I said, "All right, a new leaf has been turned." Okay. And then immediately I said, "Oh no, we were wrong. It's on the Bears."
I'm drinking whiskey tonight, everyone, by the way.
So 3 seconds into the game, I thought, I don't know how everyone else felt when they watched it, or like when they watched the Bears, but I immediately had a sinking feeling in my stomach. Yeah. And it's just like, come on. Like, you've had how many weeks to prepare? And the first touch of the game, literally the first touch of the game, 3 seconds into the game.
Yeah. And then you go a quick 3 and out, and it's just done for.
4 and out.
4 and out.
Yeah.
And then here comes Jordan Love. Third game ever playing. Been sitting on the bench for 3 years, man. Aaron Rodgers. You don't expect too much, I guess, from someone in his position, I guess, right? I mean,
no, but like the Bears immediately gift wrapped him, their own 40. So it's like, okay, well, I only got to work with half a field, like right out the gate. And then that was quick moving. He's got a good arm. There's no doubt about it. And then Eddie Jackson decided defense was optional there in the end zone on that. I forget, Dobbs is the receiver. It was pretty kick to the balls immediately.
Yes, and we give up the opening touchdown drive right away. Going forward, we move into a bunch of nonsense on offense. I mean, bad play calling, bad offensive line.
Everything.
I mean, I will say out of all the problems we had going through the first, second quarter, leading into halftime, where I think everyone was kind of diminished by that point, Fields probably wouldn't even make my top 10 list of problems the first half.
And I know I got into it with a few of your people on your page. I'm not. I don't make excuses for Fields. He didn't play a great game, but he was not the problem with the game. Yes, we'll get into the other stuff later, but I don't know how you could look at like the first 2 quarters other than see your offensive coordinators all of a sudden decide to have a horizontal offense.
Sure. And I mean, with Fields, it's his 28th start as a starter. This is Jordan Love's second start ever as a quarterback. I mean, when you're going up against that adversary and you're comparing those 2 stats, you're like, you expect way much more.
Fields should be leaps and bounds ahead of him.
Yeah, who played 28 games already. I mean,
and for all you to say, all I do is defend Fields. Jordan Love played a better game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He played better than Justin Fields. That's a product of our defense too. And I'm sure we'll get into that more too. But yeah, I expected to see more.
Doug. Grab your tissues tonight. It's going to be a sad one, Ben.
I expected to see more from Fields. But listen, when he didn't have pressure and had time, I think he was 16 for 22. So, I mean, you can see the talent there, obviously. It just – everything around him was so bad that I couldn't even possibly blame Justin Fields. That's the point you're making, and I agree.
We talked our faces off last year about it doesn't matter how good the quarterback is when you don't have the time in the pocket, you don't have the offensive line, your receivers aren't blocking. It doesn't matter who you have back there. Without that offensive line, the man needs time to produce. If not, he's going to run and scramble. I mean,
which is his. Thank God he has that fallback because otherwise, what else would that have looked like Sunday? Some of those ones he got out of was incredible. So what would it really look like on Sunday?
Oh, dude, exactly. I mean, you look at the Jets game last night with Aaron Rodgers not having a good line in front of him, and obviously he's a little bit older, not as conditioned as Justin Fields, and the guy ruptured his entire Achilles. I mean, how is that not Justin Fields with our offensive line? You know what I mean?
We're lucky it wasn't on a few of those. If he didn't have what he had, Jair Alexander on that one would have killed him. So we would have already been talking about the backup quarterback.
So let's kind of roll through the offense right now. Let's start with the running game. That was pretty much non-existent. I mean, I think the only glimpse of hope coming out of the running game, which I know everyone was excited about, and I was excited about too, was Roschon Johnson. He didn't have an offensive line. He made a lot of good catching plays. Obviously, he was under 50 yards running. But that touchdown he had, dude, where he went the second effort and got in the end zone, I mean, that's showing hopes of a running back who has moves. He's going to be able to get open. He's going to put in the extra effort. I mean, I really saw a lot from him, especially from a rookie.
It was maybe the only time we really saw the offense spark. It seems like he kind of uplifted them, for lack of a better description. And he definitely showed he has talent. And I hope we see a lot more of him because I was underwhelmed by Khalil Herbert and Dante Freeman.
I think it was almost a joke going into the season where we're like, oh, yeah, Roschon Johnson's going to be the starter by the end of the season. But after seeing this, just his first game, if I had to go after this first game, you might see Roschon Johnson step up a lot faster in that depth chart, man. I mean,
absolutely. It's there to take. Why not? Like Vince McMahon says, grab the brass ring. He grabbed it. And he was, people don't know, one of the few things we tried to talk about each of our highlights for the game, and he was one of the only things we could come up with, really, was Roschon Johnson. Yeah, he flashed it good. That's great. I'm glad to see it.
Herbert, again, without an offensive line, I mean, he requires that block. And Roschon Johnson kind of got the passing moves, got open. I mean, he was out there putting out a ton of effort.
He looked good.
He's definitely trying to earn and improve his place, and that was probably the number one most effort person I've seen during the entire game is Roschon Johnson.
He might have been the only guy. Well, I don't want to say that, but he at least was giving effort. We'll just say that. We'll just say that.
So let's get into the offensive line then, my friend. Cody White here.
Well, he should still be playing center. Let's start there.
Yeah. Okay.
They should have never moved him. Let him stay center. Put somebody else in his left guard. Don't make 2 problems when you only have 1 problem.
Yeah.
All spring, all preseason, all they were talking about is how he's going to be their center.
Yeah.
Where
he shines at.
Yeah, that's where his best position. Yeah. So Tevin Jacobs goes down, and immediately he's going to get moved to left guard. Then we're going to put Lucas Patrick in if you want to talk about him next. Yeah. Sucks. He sucks. He's an 8th or 9th offensive lineman.
I was definitely surprised he was even on the team this year.
Yeah.
Feeney.
Yeah, why not? I'd rather him be on the left guard. Like this week, honestly, this week.
What did we do that for?
I am right to the point with the offensive line after that showing that I want Feeney on left guard, move Whitehair back to center, let Lucas Patrick go wherever the hell he goes. I don't care.
Yeah, go get the Gatorade for the guys.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, I was definitely fed up with him, dude. Absolutely horrible. He should have begun with loving good, dude. Like,
that's fine.
Just my opinion. But.
My other favorite, we have to. Braxton Jones played a bad game. He played a bad game.
Dude,
they love him because they picked him, and he played every snap last year, and that's great. Good for him. But all the improvement we were hearing about all off season, with he's getting better with the bull rushes and all that, he played a bad game.
Yeah,
Two false starts immediately in the first quarter. He was bad. So that's a Ryan Poles pick. That's a ding on him. Like that is an example of. I know we'll get into him later too, but maybe he didn't do enough for the offensive line. Obviously, he didn't do enough for the offensive line, at least on the middle of the left side. That's for sure.
I mean, there's practices, there's scrimmages, and then there's game time
100%.
situations. And again, what they showed during practices during scrimmage. But again, you got to think too. Look, and we'll get into the defensive line a little bit later.
Oh, yeah.
You got the bad going versus the bad. I mean, maybe he did look awesome versus our defensive line, but now you put in a fully charged, talented defensive line, and he's right back to the person he was last year.
Let's go back to a point you made a few weeks ago. Maybe they should have played all 3 preseason games. Maybe a few extra snaps in the preseason would have helped them out the more.
I didn't think that we were a team who should have been sitting our starters a ton. They're too new. They're too fresh. They need to get in rhythm. Like, again, you don't want to force injury. You don't want to injure any of our players. But, dude, if it comes down to our players being synced up on the same page and performing correctly, I'll take a couple injuries if that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, or how about coming out looking like they want to actually play like an NFL season game? That looked like they came out looking like that was a preseason game all the way around.
Yeah, dude, I thought there was one point where I thought Justin Fields was crying. I was waiting for the meme to come up today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jesus, this is going to be a meme tomorrow. I was like, we don't need a crying quarterback meme. Like, there was one point where I seriously thought he was crying, and the camera ran off him real fast.
Yeah.
So, dude, it was bad. So, again, running backs, offensive line.
Before we move on from them, I just want to say, of the 5 offensive linemen, at least Darnell Wright didn't look totally embarrassed out there. Now, he didn't play good.
Not look like a first-round pick offensive
lineman.
I know,
but compared to everything else.
Compared to the other bums that were out
he looked like you saw a little flash of maybe he's got some of that monster in him. But I mean, that's really looking for
the
something.
Offensive line is it's a team line, dude. Like, one person falls, the rest collapses with them. I mean, it doesn't matter how good Darnell Wright is, dude. If you don't have the 3-4 supporting guys behind you, like, you can't stop an entire defense.
He can only stop his assignment. He can only stop his assignment. That's it. I mean, he can only play 1/11 of the men. Like, he can only stop who he needs to stop. Nate Davis too. He was gone for all preseason. We didn't even mention him. He didn't really look good either. So the whole offensive line looked bad.
39 snaps was he in?
I think so.
And he did what?
No, it was bad.
Yeah. DJ Moore, our shining star, we gave up a number 1 pick for 3 attempts to pass to him the entire game. Pretty much the number 1 most talented, highest rated person in our depth chart is DJ Moore. And how do you not go to him more than 3 times in the entire game?
How do you not come up with 2 go routes per each half? Just go run and throw it down there, and he'll be down there somewhere to catch it. And if not, who cares? Because it's the other side of the field. I don't get what our offensive coordinator was doing. I don't know if it's on Fields too. I'm sure some of it is.
See, we got a smart Bears fan out there. Justin Fields is not the problem.
Not from week 1, he was not.
Yeah, not from week 1.
Was he part of a problem? Yes, but he wasn't. He wasn't the main culprit of why that looked like such a complete cluster on Sunday night.
Definitely not, man. Definitely not. Like I said earlier in the show, if you made the top 10 list of problems on Sunday, he's not even in the top 10.
Oh no.
Mooney was the other shining light on top of Roschon Johnson that I
good.
saw in my eyes, dude. He was out there putting forth effort. He was going out there getting cream trying to make some of these passes, dude. There was a screen pass in the 4th quarter where he just got demolished, and Fields hung him out to dry on the play call, dude. He just got cream. I thought he was going to be dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but he was there, dude. He was doing his job. You could tell that he was hungry, and we didn't see that from our third wide receiver, Mr. Chase Claypool, everyone, which I have no problem going on record and saying after watching his tape, which I'm about to show you right now, I'm sure a lot of you saw it on my page earlier today, but that dude looked like a piece of shit. He looked like the guy in the choir who was just like lip syncing, pretending to sing. Like he was out there pretending to be a wide receiver. He wasn't putting any effort in routes. He wasn't blocking. He just looked like he was out there just to be a statue and pretend like he was playing football. And for those of you who haven't seen the tape, here it is right now. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Get that whiskey glass ready.
Yeah, I'm going to drink during this video. I mean, just absolutely god awful. You looked like you wasn't even trying out there. Like, dude, if you don't want to fucking play football, get the fuck off of our team and go somewhere else, dude. Go back to fucking France and play model boy wearing weird fucking clothes. Like, get the fuck off our team, dude. Like, I'm pissed, dude. Like,
oh no,
you see that tape,
yeah,
dude?
You ain't telling
like,
me nothing. Yeah.
How could you imagine being the wide receiver coach right now on that team and going back and watching tape on
I'm going to immediately put that on the coaches too. If you didn't notice that, you should have yanked him right off the field immediately.
If I would have gone back and saw tape and not paid attention to it, I would have gone in the locker room, grabbed him, put against a fucking wall, and asked him what he was doing.
Yeah, that was really pathetic and sad. I think I used the word gobsmacked even when I saw that. You can't let that happen. Like if you're going to build culture with this team and hold accountability, like they have done so far with some people, you need to immediately sit him down this week and say, if you don't want to play, you're not going to be here. That's it.
Dude, they need to make him the example boy for the rest of the team who suck this week.
I'd give him this week.
Yeah. If you're not going to perform, you're going to suck. You're not going to put forth effort. You are gone.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the NFL you're not guaranteed all your money in the NFL, dude, which is a bad thing in a lot of ways. But, dude, if you're not performing and you're not guaranteed your money, get the fuck out of here.
Even more mind-blowing, this is his contract year.
Yeah.
He's a free agent after
this
year.
This could make or break the rest of your career.
Imagine putting that video out there, that film. All the other teams are going to see that. Imagine putting it out there and then looking for a contract this year. I can't believe it. Like obviously, like I know they brought it up on the radio too. Like maybe there's something mentally wrong with this dude because that is unbelievable.
He got called out on the morning show this morning. Like they didn't say his name.
I saw that,
and they're like, if anyone watched 5 seconds of that game, you know exactly who we're talking about.
Everywhere in Chicago named the name and they put the video up. So I mean, there was no doubt about it.
Rightfully so, dude. Like, what are you doing? Bro?
That was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. I couldn't believe it. I mean. We've all dealt with diva. We've all seen the diva wide receiver, but that's even beyond that because those guys at least performed. Yeah. Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, go all the way down the line.
Talking about Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Terrell Owens, guy who had like a halfway good season 2 years ago.
This guy's proved nothing in this league. Nothing. All he proved is that the maybe one of the best franchises in the history of football, the Pittsburgh Steelers, that are run as good as anybody, wanted nothing to do with you, and they might have fleeced you out of a first-round pick here. As of now, I mean, that is...
Well, it wasn't a first-round pick when we got him, but it turned into a first round.
I mean, okay, so even if we want to say it was a 33rd pick, that's still a fleecing for what that was there. I hope that they either light a fire into this dude's ass or get him out of here after this week because we'll get him upstairs, get him out of here. Yeah. That's really bad. Really, really bad.
Dude, I mean, I can't imagine. I'd love to be a fly in the wall of the coaches watching that tape.
That's the other worry. Like, are these coaches... I hope they're seeing this and going berserk because...
How could you not?
I hope so. I hope so. I'll just say I hope so.
Yeah. So when Fields did have an opportunity to get the ball out of his hands, 37 passes total, 24 completions, and only 3 went for more than 10 yards.
It's bad.
What's your thought on Luke Getsy and the play calling there, my friend? I mean, is that Justin Fields not being let loose to do what he can do? Is that Luke Getsy having a problem with him? Is he seeing something to where he's not trusting Fields to let loose? Like he doesn't feel like he can accurately throw a ball downfield past 10 yards? I mean, is that the current situation?
All the above. How can it be? Obviously, I mean, when you start out with screen pass after screen pass after screen pass, I mean, obviously, either they don't trust Fields or this is the kind of offense he wants to run.
Here it is. Here's his pass chart right here. 24 for 37, 216 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. But you can see the greens are completions. The whites are not. And, dude, every single pass was basically a screen pass, like less than 5 yards.
I mean, I'm sure
it's funny. You go back to the preseason. That's what they did with Khalil Herbert. That's what they did with DJ Moore and those. It was
again. It was almost like preseason. Like they thought, like, well, that worked in game 1 of the preseason when no one's playing defense. It'll work here.
Yeah, are we going to do that again? And we're going to.
And it was like okay. You tried it on your first one. All right, we'll learn from that real quick here. Yeah. And it seemed like they just kept the script going nonstop. And I know they script the first 16 plays usually or whatever, but after it didn't work like the first 2 drives, you got to immediately say, okay, this is not going to work. So we have all these speedy wide receivers supposedly. Why aren't we using it? Why aren't we stretching the field? He obviously has an arm to do it.
But dude, did he have enough time to really be able to
look
downfield?
I'm not saying that's not part of it. Of course,
see a post downfield.
I mean, some of those he didn't even get 3 steps back, and he already had a lineman in his face, a defensive tackle in his face, no less.
Which leads into the Green Bay Packers had the most pressures on the quarterback. Out of any NFL team, week 1. 25 pressures. And in turn, which we'll get into the defense here shortly, the Bears only had 2 pressures on Jordan Love the entire game.
I think they said in the stat era it was the worst performance by a defensive line ever.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't hear that.
I thought I heard that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I could have swore I read or saw that in like the last 20 years. It was like one of, if not the worst defensive line performance in a game.
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't as bad as Dallas and the Giants. Okay, go Bears, baby, go Bears. You gotta say something positive.
I hear you, man.
I'm trying to.
I asked you, are you sure you want me to come on this week?
We gotta call a spade a spade.
It was a pathetic game. Like, what else? You can't sit here and like. I get it. Like, I'm a Bears fan too. You think I wanted to like be jumping off my couch screaming the first game of the year? Like, I mean, it was like we said. Like, if the Bears got beat by 7 and they looked good doing it, it looked like they were giving effort. That's the other thing. I didn't see much effort out there. I mean, it seemed like they were sleepwalking. Some of these guys were talking about that the team didn't have juice after the game. Like, this is week 1 against Green Bay. You had 2 weeks to prepare for this game.
If we're hyped as fans for this game, how fucking hyped should you be?
You should be like, did you see that Jets game last night? How those guys were like,
oh my god,
even after, like they were like going, they were like jumping off like the guys were just going berserk on the field.
When you lost Aaron Rodgers 4 plays,
those dudes were still ready to roll.
Those guys were still fucking smoking, dude.
Didn't care.
Yeah,
didn't care.
It's like it's very deflating.
How can you say that? Like, I don't like it blows my mind. Week 1 of the NFL, like I understand, like maybe last year, but like, you know, we all came in here expecting, like, no one's expecting this team to win the Super Bowl, but I don't want a performance like that ever again the rest of this year. I can tell you that right now.
Fuck the Packers, too. I don't care what anyone says. Thank you for
fuck them too.
Fuck those Packers. Thanks, Guy CNG, baby. What's up? Juan, how do you not pressure a rookie QB more than 2 times? You're like, do the Green Bay Packers have like the ironclad offensive line?
No.
Dude, on paper, definitely not.
No.
Their defensive line or their offensive line is nothing special.
They're
like 15 to 20. They're nothing.
It's fine.
Yeah, they're nothing top 10 defense.
I'll tell you why, because you didn't do anything about your interior defensive line. You have Justin Jones out there who is bad, who is a bad football player.
Speaking of the defensive line, I'll say the one positive thing, Maxwell. You can take the rest. Yannick got a sack. I mean,
that's what you're paid to do.
We paid him his guaranteed $2 million.
And I'll give him another bouquet. He had a really nice tackle for loss on a rushing play, which he got a lot of heat for being for not caring about the running game. Yeah. So, okay, he showed up and did what he's supposed to do. He should give you a sack or half a sack every week.
Edmonds had a couple of sacks.
Edmonds and Edwards looked good. They looked fine.
Yeah, I mean, Edwards had 14 tackles. I mean,
the other one I'll throw is we saw some flashes from Tyreek Stevenson. He was laying some wood early. Yeah. Now, once we got later in the game, you didn't see much.
No.
But, okay, fine. But the defensive line, it might be worse than the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they did not. I mean, Jordan Love was eating popcorn back there in an armchair. I mean, it was times where you could count to 5 or 6. Yeah. Like, that's unacceptable. So, like,
that's our snap count.
And, like, even, like, not to take your positive back away, but Ngakwe's sack was after about a 4 or 5 seconds. So, like, at some point, somebody should be getting fucking home.
He shouldn't have had that time even.
No. So, like, great. He got the sack. That's good. But it was so bad. Like that's and I know we're going to talk about polls here in a little while, but that's indicative of that. Like, you didn't really address that. You got the 2 rookies, and I did see Dexter come in and the other kid, Zach, is it Pickens?
Well,
but
there's another option too. Like, you go into next week and you, let's just say,
I want
we
that
have
now.
similar problems.
I want them
throw
to
these fucking.
I want them in there now.
I want them now.
I want them in there now. I don't
Would
want to see
normally
Justin.
say that.
No, I don't want Justin Jones in there ever again. Like, as a backup, as a depth guy, fine. But when you play, I think the stat was it 40 plays or 39 plays or 38 plays, and you didn't register a stat. Yeah. Not a stat. Yeah. As a defensive tackle.
You were just out there.
And like, look what that entails. Like, you could just have an assist.
Not even like stopping a run, not even a tackle for a run.
Nothing. You didn't get a pressure. You basically went out there and did nothing.
And dude, not to mention, Aaron Jones went out, dude. AJ Dillon came in.
That too.
So we were going against a fucking second string running back.
And that's the other thing.
Who is not bad. AJ Dillon
he's good.
is not
he's a good player.
But dude, he was not Aaron Jones. No. God forbid Aaron Jones was in that game the entire time.
I mean, like, if you notice, like, the Packers kind of just went to a full-on pass game then, which, I mean,
Why
did the
not?
Bears but I mean, they did the Bears a favor without running Aaron Jones. I mean, they eventually went out, but it was really bad. The defensive line was offensive, personally offensive. I mean, it was bad.
Well, let's just keep on adding to the bad news, man. I mean, Kyler Gordon possibly going on the IR for a broken hand. I mean, he can still play with a broken hand. Should he? Would we want him to?
I don't know.
Maybe if we were a Super Bowl caliber team, I'd say, okay, go risk it.
I think in theory, you've got an extra decent guy there in depth, I think. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, you don't want like one of your 2 stud cornerbacks going out immediately. That's bad.
Dude, all the things we're talking about, man, this is fucking game 1, dude. This is almost like enough things to be talking about happening for like the first 4 games. I mean,
it feels like it was 4 games.
Yeah.
Like it was so much.
The season's halfway through for one game.
It was the old Levy. The first quarter of the season is over.
Jesus Christ.
It was so putrid from the top down. And like, we really didn't even like, I mean, even the coaching, I mean, the head coach. So like, why did your team come out not ready?
Well, there we go, man. Who are we blaming the coaches? Is this the coaching thing?
Not just.
Is this Ryan Poles? I mean,
it's all. I think it's all. You can't come out of a game like that and not blame everything. Like, down to the janitor and the ball boy, the water boy, everything. Your team didn't look prepared or ready to play. They didn't.
Dude, I said this before the season starts. We talked about it before the show, and I'm going to stand by this all year long. Ryan Poles did exactly what all of us said we would do, what we wanted him to do. He took the best of what was available. He was making moves, cutting deals. He was doing everything in his effort to make this team the best it could be. Mm-hmm. He is not out there fucking playing football. I mean, these guys have their stats on paper, their stats from the Columbine, their practices, their scrimmages. I mean, we all know that's different than a real game scenario. Did he make any wrong moves? I mean,
not updating the defensive interior line seemed to be a big one. Maybe putting too much.
Which we talked about. I really thought that they should have gone defensive end, second pick overall.
Interior, you want the 3 technique guy. Yeah. That's what that defense needs.
After the draft, I said, okay, they got the offensive line. They should have gone for a defensive lineman. Second round, and they didn't. So I mean, that was the only fault I gave him during the draft. And
okay, fine. I'm not going to throw it all on him, but I mean, then he needs to get downstairs after watching this tape and if the
crack some fucking skulls.
And if the coaches aren't doing good enough and aren't motivating these guys enough, then somebody else needs to immediately. Yeah. Like, this isn't. You can't let this linger into this week. Yeah. Like, and I mean, listen, I'm not. Maybe we all did get a little too high on our own supply with the offseason. Like, you can't win. You can win it on paper, but when you start playing, it's, oh boy, maybe this wasn't as good as we thought it was. Maybe it isn't. So I'm not going to throw it all on Poles, but he's got to take some of the blame. He has to. I mean, he made the Chase Claypool move.
Dude, we talked about it right before the episode, before the preseason started, and said, hey, we all have high hopes. We all have high expectations. We've been getting pumped all off seasons for all these acquisitions, these free agents, these draft picks. Sure. But, dude, the expectation is we had a 3-win team last year. Mm-hmm. And to expect this brand new team, just brandly new, all came together and come out there and look like a Super Bowl championship KC team with Patrick Mahomes wielding it. It's just not realistic.
Of course not. I mean,
did we expect it to be as bad as it was on Sunday?
That's just it.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's more of what it is for me. It isn't that we got beat. I mean, all of us in the back of our head always have that feeling against the Packers, like, oh, God. Yeah. Like, maybe we'll pull this one out. It's how they got beat and why they got beat and how it looked and why it looked like that. Like, That's what bothers me. I mean, yeah, the coaching has to take a lot of the blame as well. Your guys cannot come out here and looking like you're unprepared to play an NFL Week 1 game at home at 3:30 on national TV against your biggest division rival. It's just mind-boggling.
How fucking pumped your fan base is. How much support you still have after a 3-win season.
I heard some people from the stadium who said that is the loudest they've heard Soldier Field in about 5 years.
Dude, so that was one of the last things that was going to end on, dude. Don't go to a home opener game and fucking boo our players. Dude, I'm sorry.
I got to disagree with you big time.
I was as disappointed as the next person. What are you trying to accomplish? How is booing going to make anything better than what's already happened? Like, do you think the players and the coaches and the owners don't know that everyone in the stands is completely fucking upset and depressed right now?
Well, if they didn't, they do now.
I mean, but dude, like, discouraging our players who obviously are out there, who I want to hope most of them are trying to get back on their game and mount a comeback in the second, third quarter. Like, dude, okay, if you want to boo, if you have to boo, wait till the fucking game's over and they've completely shit the bed all 4 quarters. But, dude, in the second quarter, the third quarter, when the game's still going and there's a 10-point difference, like, dude, that's not the time to be booing our players.
I am going to pull up Mike Fosno here and say they can cry it into their paychecks. The most boos were coming because of how frustrated fans were with that offense was looking like. What we expect this offense to be, and to come out and throw 6 points on the field and throw a horizontal offense out there.
Yeah.
They're booing the coaching and the owners and the GM. They're not so much booing Justin Fields.
How are they supposed to know that as players on the sideline?
Players can deal with it. I mean, listen, if you go to Soldier Field, you go to any field, White Sox Park, whatever the hell it's called now, Wrigley Field, you paid your money to sit in that seat. If you want to boo at what you're seeing on the field because it is a complete disaster, what does Chicago love more than any other city, any other sports town? From their no. What do they love from their players? Effort.
Yeah.
That's what they love. Guys busting their ass. We fall in love with the Jack Sanborns of the world and stuff because we love to see the underdog stories, the guys who bust their hump every week.
Our Tyler Baggins of them.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Fontenot from the Cubs, because we can go back further. That's what fans want. So when you see the field and you see that stuff with Chase Claypool and you see just complete like ineptitude out there and like no effort seems to be giving and everyone seems to be sleepwalking. Yeah. That's what you have the right to boo. Now, nobody's going to be booing if they're out there and Justin Fields throw 2 down the field interceptions. No one's going to boo that because we understand he's going to be growing pains. There's going to be some bumps.
I would have rather see him take the shots and fail than not take the shots at all.
Yes. So the fans are booing the whole thing. We all got hyped up. It's the Packers. They finally don't have Rodgers. This year we made all these moves. This team should be good. So it was a huge culmination story.
And Guy brings up a good point here. The offense kept giving the ball back to it. It was 7-6 forever, dude. Like that game was, again, the Bears looking like shit, but still keeping you into the game the entire time. It's like a magic chemistry they have to be able to keep you believing all the way.
We talked about it. He had that beautiful pass to Mooney for the touchdown. Then they get an easy 2-point conversion. It's like, okay, we're 10 points down.
You're speaking the facts too, brother. You're giving the gospel, my friend.
It looked nice. It's like, okay, maybe now we're rolling. And then immediately it's just like, no, have some more of this instead. And it's like, what in the world here?
Well, Maxwell, everyone's loving what you're saying. Ness is telling you to preach, brother. Preach.
Hey, listen, I don't want to be doing this. I wanted to come on here with you, be all happy, be all whiskey drunk. I don't want to be bitching about the Bears after week 1. Week 1. I don't want this. I don't want to be doing this down here with you every week. If we go like 0-5, I'm done. So
I'm going to be, me and you, same page by week 3, dude. I mean, if this happens next week in week 3.
I hope after tonight we can flush this down the toilet and laugh about this next week.
You could be like, what the fuck happened week 1? That was crazy.
And the Bears come out and they win 4 out of the next 5 here. And this is all over with. I don't want this. But, I mean, I want people – I mean, everyone was aggravated. Everyone wants to just scream about it. I still want to scream about it 2 days later. I mean, it was aggravated. I couldn't even imagine going to the game like you did. I mean, you had to be ready to kill somebody.
Dude, I was getting, like, texts from, like, people like, hey, Foz, you okay? like they just heard a family member died or something. Like, how you doing, big guy? You hanging in there? I was like, yeah, I'm okay.
I asked if you want to switch it up and maybe we can do Cubs this week instead.
I'm about to do a Cubs shit. I told you, episode 21 is the last episode. Fucking done after
we crapped out. We crapped out already.
All right. Moving on to next week, though, for a hopefully more positive outcome than what we just had this week. We're going to be playing the Buccaneers, and coming on the show tonight, We got my man Mooky from the Buccaholics. Welcome, Mooky, to the show, everyone. What's up, sir? I can't hear you, Mooky. Is your mic muted, brother?
Maybe his throat's like mine after all that yelling.
There we go. What's up, everybody?
I thought you muted because you were screaming "bear down" in the back.
Yeah.
How we doing tonight, brother? Thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
No, hey, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys. Just wanted to give you guys the quick, 1-2 mask, have some fun, and then I guess I'll bust out the real identity here, and maybe we can make a little.
Man, put the mask back on, brother. You look better before. No, I'm just joking with you, brother.
Right?
You're a good looking man. Look at you.
Hey, we have to do one of these. That's all before we get.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. At least you're drinking to a celebratory victory. I'm drinking.
Hey,
I drank so much after the game Sunday.
We could just call this a good luck. Here's to next week.
I won't toast you with water, though.
Here's Drake, Kanye West, Lil Wayne.
All right.
Ooh.
How are you guys? Thank you guys for having me.
All right, my guys. So let's get into the entire situation right now. Where does the name Mooky come from?
So, Mooky comes from, first of all, there's way too many mics in this world, no disrespect. But, playing sports growing up.
That was Don't Fear the Reaper because the Bears died yesterday. I had to play it, and that was an accident. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Where's the name Mooky from? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Like I said, there's too many mics in the world, like I said. So, growing up, Pops would, scream my name in the sports world as I was playing sports, and all the mics would look, and he goes, we got to high school. He's like, you're going to be Mooky. There's just way too many mics, in this world.
Like the Mooky Blaylock era of sports right here?
Or Mooky Wilson?
Not really, because he's a West Coast guy. So, I mean, my pops is, I'm talking. But, I don't know, man. He just came up with it, and we rode with it ever since, the high school sports days, I guess. And it carried on through the good old Superfan era.
Dude, I hear you, man. I got Foz back in high school. My last name is Fosno, and our gym teacher was like, Mike Foz. And I was like, Fosno? And he's just like, nope, too long, Foz. And dude, from that day forward, I've been Foz ever since, my friend.
Yep. Everybody's
name.
Yeah. He is Maxwell. His name is Mike, too. We got fucking 3 mics on the show, man.
Hey, there you go. See, that's why you have to have a nickname for a mic.
You gotta love our original parents, right?
That's all right. It's a good strong. Name.
It's a good strong name. All right, so Mooky, going back to childhood, my friend, you a Bucs fan your entire life? I know you live in Vegas now, or you're originally from the Florida area?
I actually am not originally from the Florida area. I'm actually 10 years of my first of my life. I was in the San Francisco Bay Area. Then I actually just turned 38 a couple days ago. So 28 years here in Vegas.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, so 28 years here in Vegas, and I became a Bucs fan by my first Pop Warner football team and playing NFL Blitz on
I love it, man. I love the honesty. So how does the person live in 28 years in Vegas and not die?
Hey, I'll tell you what, this town will eat you up, spit you out, and leave you broke for nothing, bro. That's the motto around here.
Dude, yeah. It's like every time I've been to Vegas, it's like 2 days is not enough and 3 days is too long.
Too much. Yeah.
So. Well, you guys know the old motto, 86, right? We're going to 86 you out of the bar. That came and originated here in Vegas, the old mafia days. You're gonna go 8 feet deep, 8 miles into the desert and 6 feet deep, baby. That's where it came from.
I had no idea. That's awesome. Did you know that?
Yeah. Mafia Vegas days.
Yeah. I had no clue, man. That's awesome, bro. So you started playing video games, and that's how you got into the Buccaneers?
No, I mean, more or less, it was my first youth Pop Warner football team. Okay. And I transitioned from playing soccer and baseball, living in Northern California. When I moved out here, I got into everybody out here was playing Pop Warner, so I jumped on that bandwagon. And my first sports team was the Bucs, and I love the colors.
I love it, man. I love it.
So I got to time this in my head. What year did you become a Bucs fan?
So it was about 97.
All right, so that's right around. So I got to throw a Joliet name out there.
Mike Allstott?
Mike Allstott, dude, one of the best fullbacks in the history of football.
My favorite all-time player, indeed.
Oh, boom.
Dude, so he actually was in high school where you went to high school, JCA. Mm-hmm. And like he grew up like 2 blocks away from where I grew up living too, man. So during that area, him going to the Super Bowl and everything.
Him and Warwick Dunn?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just watching that and hearing Gene Huckervoss, was Mike Allstott A-Train right up the gut,
Oh yeah, dude, there was a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans during the time in this area.
I gotta admit
because
a
of
little
Mike
bit.
Allstott.
I gotta admit a little bit.
He may have bought an All-Star jersey.
There might have been a red All-Star jersey somewhere that might still be buried in the basement somewhere.
Yeah, no, I still in the creamsicle still to this day, as you can see, still I think you guys got orange in your color. I think it's just such a cool color, unique, blend of colors. I love the old creamsicle color. So
dude, the old Tampa Bay logo with the old pirate too.
Definitely, indeed. So
dude, you become a Tampa Bay fan. You live out of town. When did you start going to the games and start becoming more of a super fan?
So I would say about 2017, 2018 there, our Buccaholics chapter. So Buccaholics as a whole, we're basically your Buccaneers traveling fan group that puts together tailgates in opposing cities. So we actually have a captain out there in Illinois. His name is Matt. He's actually going to be throwing a watch party out there this weekend.
I'll be going to that party, my friend.
I appreciate the support, man. It's going to be a good time. Matt is a good guy. You guys are going to have a great time, and this is what it's all about, right? Just bringing the fandom and bringing the groups together, and just collaborating what we love and enjoy on every Sunday and Thursday and Monday, I guess.
Yeah, man, I talk about it all the time. Everyone thinks that each team hates each other, but in reality, we really don't. We just want our team to win, but we do love other teams and other fans.
100%. Yeah. So back to your original question, we kicked it off. Our Nevada chapter started in 2016, so we have different chapters in each state for the Buccaholics. And I'm not gonna lie to you, and pardon me for saying this, but I was sitting there on my couch one day, kind of drunk and a little high, and I kind of looked up at the wall and seen the mask there, and I was like, man, it was kind of like the Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. Of like, how do I become this mask? Like, how do I, how does my face form into that skull? And I actually got in touch with some cosplay people that I knew through collecting comic books and stuff like that. And I got a hold of a lady to make me my unique mask, and I kind of just put it all together with the two eyes as the O's, and threw it all together, and it just kind of became a thing. Your alter ego,
Hell yeah,
dude! How comfy is that mask?
I've got it down pretty well, so that where I wear the bandana, so it sucks up the heat underneath the mask, and then. It's actually not too bad. It's actually called out of a material called Evafoam, and it's a really light material, and it's got good ventilation in it, so it's not too bad. It wasn't bad in Minnesota indoors last weekend, I'll tell you that much.
I bet not. That's quite an upset.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're welcome.
Maybe.
Well, Detroit still won, and the Bears lost.
Yeah, no, hey man, and I'm looking forward to this week's matchup against you guys. I think both quarterbacks have so much to prove. It's make or bake it for Baker. So he proved it. He did his job last weekend. I'll give him that much. What was that? I can't hear you. Your mic is gone, Mike.
You hear me there, brother?
You're good. How much I believe in Baker Mayfield?
Yes, sir.
I'm more of I'm on the fence. I'll be honest with you. He did his job last week, did what he had to do. Our defense showed up, helped him out, but I love his enthusiasm. I'm not gonna lie. I never really got to study him and really get to watch him play by play because he obviously wasn't on my team, and he's got some enthusiasm. I love his grit. I'll be biasly. I'm not a fan of small quarterbacks. I know that's what the league is circled around right now. Those fast, mobile, small quarterbacks. It's just not my style, or I'm not a fan of it too much. But that's what we're transitioning into. So, I mean, hey, he's been doing it for quite some time. So if we get him some protection and a little bit better protection, I think he'll do the job.
So to back it up just a little bit, have you been to Raymond James Stadium?
I go every year for the last 7 years. I've been at least one home game every year.
So what was your first game and your favorite game?
What was my first game and what was that?
Your favorite game there?
Mookie, we're getting some bad feedback on your end, my friend.
Oh, my bad. Let's see. Not sure. So my first Ray J game was in 2014, and it was against the San Francisco 49ers coming from the Bay Area. We lost that game. My favorite game actually was a few years back when we opened up our season to rematch against Kansas City for Monday Night Football. We lost that one as well, but what an intense game, and Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. So watching that guy live was pretty intense and pretty cool. And against Tom Brady, of course, too. So can't go wrong there.
No.
What was the feeling having Tom Brady as your quarterback, my friend? I mean, obviously going from New England all those years and then coming on over to the Buccaneers. I mean, did you guys just like freak out?
I told people I was listening to your podcast towards the end there, and you said you're getting a bunch of text messages about the game and this and that, like family member just died. And yeah. Same effect, same feeling, same effect. I just told everybody still to this day, he made me eat my words because I right then and there I said, until he brings me a Super Bowl, I could care less. And if the man brings a Super Bowl, I'll buy his jersey and but I'll tell you this. I'm going to say this much. 2002, we won our Super Bowl with Brad Johnson. Yeah. Fast forward it to a few years ago, 2022 or 2020, I'm sorry. We won it with Tom Brady. Two completely different quarterbacks. But both those Super Bowls, you know who won us those Super Bowls?
Defense.
Thank you very, very much. So Tom Brady is the GOAT. He's the greatest. But when you hold Patrick Mahomes, who's the next GOAT, I would say, coming rising, we shut him to 9 points. He didn't even score a touchdown. I mean, so you can't, and then same thing with Brad Johnson. You just get these quarterbacks, you get them some protection, you get a good defense. They do their jobs. Anybody can get the job done, man.
Dude, I went to go watch our recent coach talk and do an interview, Matt Eberflus, and one of the things he said that stuck with me is defense wins games, but the backfield wins championships.
I like
so
that.
I don't disagree, dude. You definitely got to have that defense. And back in 2002, dude, a defense could have won you a Super Bowl.
Yes.
I don't know if that's as much true now. I think you have to have at least a middle-of-the-road defense, but your offense has to be top-notch, dude. And that year with Goodwin and Brady and Mike Evans, dude, and had a solid offensive line guy, he came in there and rocked it, my friend.
Yeah, no, I agree. He had all the weapons around him, that's for sure. That's what I keep telling everybody. Fast forwarding to today is we have a lot of those same players from that Super Bowl run. Minus a couple of the offensive linemen who protected Brady, but the defense is all still pretty much there. Got the 2-star wide receiver still there. So I mean, let's get it done. Let's run it back. I still have faith.
So how are you guys feeling about your schedule this year? I mean, everyone analyzes their schedule when they come out and puts their team against the opposing teams they're playing. How many wins do you think the Bucs are going to have this year, my friend? Minus the loss on Sunday.
Minus the loss on Sunday. I love it. Honestly, I really feel that we could go a good solid 10-8 and maybe a little 11-7. I think we win our division. I'll tell you that much. What we do after going to the playoffs, we all know it's a whole new game. So.
It restarts the season, man.
Yep. So
thank you for anyone who told me this because I thought it was on my end, but it was all Mookie's fault the entire time. Just wanted to call you out, Mookie. What the fuck, bro? We did a technical check.
No, you're good now, man. You're good now, bro.
Good now, bro. I'm just fucking with
you. Okay. I was like, hold on. Let me see if I can.
Sometimes if you have like remote speakers on your computer and your phone's too close to the speakers, sometimes you get mad.
I got you. Okay.
No, you're all good. Well, actually, no, you're saying things again. So, you move that phone away again.
Oh, it's not good now?
Yeah. No.
Better?
It's bad again.
Hold on. Sorry about that.
You're good.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right, bud. So back to your character, man. You started wearing the mask when you became a super fan, came with the whole character. How and when did that start? When did you decide to do that?
So yeah, it was about, like I said, about 2017, 2018. And it just started piecing all together. At first I started with the NFL came out with those foam heads. So I got the ship head and I kind of threw some action figures and some different,
Nice.
trinkets on top of it. I super glued it, and then I was going to games and I leave the game and my neck and my head would just be all, I was just like, oh man, I can't do this. This isn't enjoyable. So I got a hold of the lady that made my mask again. I was like, hey, I need something different. And she made me it's just been a whole process, I guess. And then you look around the league and you kind of look at the different outfits and kind of like, hey, well, no one has this and no one has that. And what if I incorporated this or did that? And, you just kind of put your own twist and tune to things. And, man, you get a little liquid courage in you. And before you know it, you're Mookie Bucs.
I love it, brother.
No, I appreciate it.
So I you're a super fan of. Are you involved with any charities currently?
Yeah, so the Buccaholics in the whole, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Yeah, that's first and foremost the focus. I've worked with Ronald McDonald's Red Shoe Society, not globally, but nationally and here locally. We do stuff with Autism Speaks because it hits here home dearly to my house. I've done stuff with Huntington disease, and I'm actually just leaving Minnesota this last week. I got in touch with them. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they do the mittens and scarves on the big wall out there in Minneapolis. So coming up, I got this campaign coming up. It's going to be called Mooks Mittens, and I'm teaming up with those guys, and I'm just going to be gathering a bunch of mittens and scarves. I'm going to send it out to Minneapolis. Here in the desert, I don't have to worry about ever wearing mittens.
They're very cheap out in the desert.
Yes. So, and very well stocked as well. So I'll be collecting some mittens and be sending out a big package to those guys out in Minnesota. I honestly can't think of their names right off the top of my head, but
yeah, no, that's awesome. I love hearing you guys doing all the charity. We talk about it all the time on the show. So on top of going to charity, are you involved in any fan organizations like ESF, UFA?
Yeah, so I started off a little bit with ESF. I kind of bounced around a little bit of POF UFA. I trickled around with both for a little bit, and I kind of just have kind of stuck solely with the Buccaholics and their vision, and just kind of growing that brand right now. There's a lot of
Mookie, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the sound's all jacked up.
Yeah, it is all. A podcast on another device. Thanks, Juan. Juan's the man. I could probably switch over to another device. It'd probably just take me a few minutes here.
No, it's all good. We're gonna be wrapping up in a couple minutes.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that everyone get involved in organizations and different fan groups, things of that nature. So what do you have coming up this year for 2023? Any additions to the outfit? Anything new you're doing? I know you're doing the thing. Anything new coming up?
So just give you guys a heads up and welcoming all fans and all teams. Super Bowl is in Las Vegas, so we are going to be we're going to host a big ass party for anybody that wants to come to Las Vegas, and whether your team is playing or not, come put a bet on the game, watch it here with a bunch of super fans and a bunch of different teams. We're going to find a venue, do some events around it. That's the biggest thing I've got coming up on my side. And then, of course, all the Super Bowl festivities that the NFL puts on in the city is just, it's an experience that you guys have to live up. I got to witness it in Tampa, Canton, Hall of Fame. NFL does top-notch entertainment and good times around these cities when they pull up the drafts, So definitely recommend if you can make it out. We're going to have some good festivities. And then,
hell yeah, brother. The biggest stadium is completely awesome. We played the Bears there. Heard nothing but great things. So real quick, why don't you give a prediction for the Bears and Bucs game this evening, my friend?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to really watch a lot of your guys' game last week. I watched some highlights, so I can't really, say where you guys are at. But I mean, we're only in week 2, so I think the teams are still adjusting, getting used to each other. These 3-game preseason games, and you're only getting a little bit of playing time. So I don't see teams really gelling and clicking, until after week 4 or 5. It's really unpredictable. I think Justin Fields obviously has some stuff that he needs to prove, and the team around him needs to support him. You guys went out and got some players to make that happen. So, and as far as the Bucs goes, the same thing. We've got to support Baker Mayfield. We got to give him some time. So I really think it just depends on the quarterbacks and the defense. As simple as that sounds, it really, just my opinion. I think it's going to be a chess match, and whoever gets the most turnovers is going to win the game.
No disrespect. Well, I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, I think the Bucs have a really good defense. I watched that whole game. I know it's nice part about it later. The defense is good. You have things on offense that like. I just gotta disagree with my so we'll see. I would hope the Bears would be more favored going into after. I guess it is pretty even.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be an even chess match. I really do. And at the end of the day, it depends on turnovers. Whoever, if Fields or Baker puts out more interceptions, that's who's going to win the game.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a crapshoot. Mooky, I appreciate you coming on. Wish you best of luck with the team, my friend. Hopefully it's a good game for both of us on Sunday. And I'll be watching you with your Illinois Buccaholics.
Hey, well, we appreciate the support and the fandom and, the collaboration, and look forward to seeing you guys. And, hey, I hope you guys make it out to Vegas. We'll keep in touch to make sure that happens.
I'm in Vegas. I'll give you a holler for sure.
I'll be there in October.
Hit me up,
right,
Hit me up.
Have a good night, buddy. Thank you. All right. I don't think was he in outer space we were calling him from, or in Vegas?
He's in the sphere in Vegas.
He's in the sphere in Vegas. I think he's trapped in a metal ball somewhere. I apologize, everyone, for the technical difficulty as far as the volume on his end. I'm not sure what was going on, but we're back here again now and sounding beautiful like we should. So things coming up before we get going. This last Sunday, we had a brand new coin recipient. One of my favorite guys, dude. Absolutely hilarious. If you know him, you laugh your ass off every time you see him. He's the man known as Mr. Mike Rivera. Big shout out to my guy, Mike Rivera, out there. Welcome to the coin holder, sir. Yeah, robots. All right. Other than that, this week, like I was talking about, we have the Buccaholics watch party coming up. That's going to be in Bartlett out of Route 59 if you're out here in the suburbs. The Illinois Buccaholics, apparently there's a Illinois Buccaholics group of people who live in Illinois that are Bucs fans.
God bless them.
They're getting together, and they invited me and a bunch of people from the tailgate group, First and 10, and the Chicago Bears tailgating group to come out and hang out with them. Obviously,
nice. They
know of our fandom and shot the invite out to us, so I thought that was pretty cool. So really don't have too much else going on. Other than that, anyone in the suburbs locally, the Bears Buccaneers watch party, which is the official Miller Lite watch party for the Chicago Bears, is going to be at Anthony's in Joliet, right next to the Louis Joliet Mall. We did a couple of these last year, man. They have the marching band come out, and Staley comes out, and they have the DJ come out from the Bears. They do a bunch of contests and giveaways, and
cool.
It's usually a pretty fun time, my friends. So anyone out in the area, in the Joliet area, be sure to check that out. Always a good time. Week 3, as I mentioned before on last week's show, we got the Veterans Tailgate coming up for the Kansas City game. Real fun event we do every year. Billy, the defense guy, Flores, it's at his family's Union Hall in Chicago. $15 a person if you're not a veteran. Otherwise, if you're a veteran, come on down. You eat for free. We're going to have low-end barbecue. And we put up a big tailgate. There's going to be a live TV outside, all the fun stuff. So be sure to check that out. Other than that, guys, I'm sorry for such a depressing show on the Bears tonight.
Well, yeah, let's leave them on a good note.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for Sunday?
What are we thinking for Sunday? There we go. Week 1 of the NFL was fucked up. Let's just admit it.
100%.
KC lost to Detroit. The Bucs beat the Vikings. The Bengals only scored 3 points. Joe Burrow didn't throw over 100 yards.
Yeah.
The Giants in the Dallas game. And just the fucking cherry on top last night was Aaron Rodgers goes out after 4 plays, and the Jets still win and come back and beat Buffalo on Monday Night Football.
We could be all New York fans.
So let's just say we were part of that fucking weird fluke of week 1. And week 2, the Bears come out and play and be who we thought they were going to be all off season. Maxwell, you want to give me a score? We could say what you think we need to focus on next week.
Everything.
I think it's everything.
Everything. Yeah,
everything.
We'll just leave it at everything.
So why don't we go ahead and throw out a score for next week, my friend?
I'm going to go 24-20 Bears.
3 touchdowns, field goal.
I don't buy the Bucs. I know what he said, but their defense did look good. I'll give them that. They look good against Kirk Cousins. But their offense, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he's on his 4th team now in how many years? He's shown me nothing. If the Bears can even have a semblance of a pass rush, you can get that guy to throw it to your team.
I'm going to go 17-21 Bears. 3 touchdowns based upon some hopefully down the field passes.
Yeah.
To our wide receivers that we have there. Actually awesome, who we need to utilize this week. A nice long pass to Tyler Scott or DJ Moore would just be a nice redeeming play this week coming up.
Yeah.
And definitely we know they have the ability and the speed to go down there and catch it if we have the time to get it out there to them.
I agree.
Let's hope for a better week next week, everyone. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'll send you Mookie's information to send him hate mail on Facebook. So it was all his fault, just for the record. No, but I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight and listening again. Depressing stuff to talk about, but again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show and we touched on some topics and, like I said, hopefully some better news next week.
If not, we're going to both dress like Hunter S. Thompson next week and just be weird.
If next I'm going to have a bag on my head, you might not even know it's me. We'll get someone else down here to do the show. And the voice changer is going to be the guy from Scream. Yeah, guys, no, but have a good night. As always, my friends, bear down and still fuck the Packers.
Thank you, and go Bears!